Parents, let me ask you this. When your athlete doesn't get ice time, what's their first response? Do they blame the coach? They blame their teammates? Or they look in the mirror and see who is really responsible for their ice time? Them. Now, here's the reality. They don't need another on-ice lesson. What they need is self-leadership. Because if they can't be trusted to lead themselves, then there's no way in the world the coach is going to trust them with more ice time. Now, how do they get that ice time? How do they develop that self-leadership? Stick around, and I'll tell you. Welcome to the Warrior Confidence Hockey Podcast. Locker room secrets to earning more ice time, trust, and leadership roles. With yours truly, Coach Rich Grogan. Hey, here's your right hook reality. Talent might open the door, but it's mental strength, discipline, and confidence that keeps you in the game and keeps you on the ice. So whether you're a parent, coach, or player, this is your playbook for winning both on and off the ice. Let's go, champion. It's game time. Hey, champions. Coach Rich Grogan here, your mental strength and high performance coach. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, thank you so very much for taking time to tune in today. I'm truly, truly grateful. And what we're talking about today, your favorite topic, ice time. I mean, that's the reason you pay for your kids to play the game. And for the athletes, which parents, I encourage you to share this with your athletes, it's the reason they're playing the game. They want more ice time. They want more success. They want those leadership roles. Well, here's the wham, right hook of reality. Coaches don't just hand it out. It has to be earned. Now, the beautiful thing about that is if you've got a good coach that makes the players earn the ice time, and I get it, there's coaches out there that do the politics. They play these games. Hopefully, we're weeding those out. USA Hockey is doing an incredible job of making the coaches go through all these developmental, not only courses, but modules and workshops to help weed out the old school coaches and to put the coaches in that want more than just producing winning teams on the ice. They want to produce winning, character building players on and off the ice. And I get it. It's not everywhere. It's our goal, what I'm doing this podcast about, what I've kind of dedicated, well, my whole life is all about leadership development with the Martial Arts Academy. And those that are tuning in for the first time, here's kind of my wall back there. And if you're just listening, you have to tune into the YouTube channel so you can see what I'm talking about. But all the years in martial arts and the success both on and off the ice, and my newest book, How to Get More Ice Time. It's all about developing those champions that lead with integrity both on and off the ice. And today we're talking about, once again, your favorite topic, our players' favorite topic. And believe it or not, coaches love to reward ice time to those that have earned it. And the beautiful thing about that is when you learn how to earn one thing, you're going to learn how to earn something else. And that's the whole title of the book. Another plug here, How to Get More Ice Time, is how do you get anything you want in life? And it's got to be earned. Now, this might be a right hook of reality for you as well. But I just got back from now that earned ice time I'm talking about, that's for all levels. And believe it or not, even at the NHL level. Now, I got an opportunity to spend some time with some NHL Stanley Cup winning coaches, and it kind of blew my mind that they were saying, look, I know you guys are dealing with teenage athletes, you're dealing with juniors, you're dealing with college athletes. Well, it's the same thing across the board, even with Stanley Cup winning champion athletes. Ice time. I mean, everybody wants it. That's why you play the game. Yeah? Well, it's earned at the NHL level. Now, I tell the players all the time, it's kind of my little go-to. Look, you work hard, you play hard, you get paid hard. Well, paid well. And they say, well, we don't get paid. I said, well, yeah, you do. You get paid with ice time. Now, Deion Sanders had a cool saying, and I realize he's not a hockey player, but Neon Deion, his thing was, you look good. That means, man, you look good in not only the way you dress, but the way you carry yourself. And he would say, you look good, you play good. You play good, you get paid good. Yeah. So look good, feel good, play good, get paid good. And teenage athletes, your pay is earning ice time. Your pay is also earning those leadership roles. Your pay is also impressing a coach at a higher level, so they maybe pick you up on their travel team. Or if you're going to college, get picked up there. Or you're playing for juniors, because coaches talk. And what do coaches want? They want players that have the right attitude, that have the right mindset, that have the right work ethic, that have the right amount of self-discipline and self-leadership. And those are all skills that can be done off the ice. And those off-ice skills are going to improve your on-ice skills. And I mention it all the time. And it was brought up once again during a symposium with the Stanley Cup winning head coaches. They talked about, look, a player has a bad shift. A player, maybe they're off that night. Well, they get moved from the first line or the second line down to the third line. Automatically, it gets in their head, just like it does your teenager's head, that, oh, the coach doesn't like me. I'm terrible. I'm no good. Now ask yourself, how many times has your player said that? Or how many times have you said it? Oh, the coach he just plays their favorites. And once again, I get it. There are some coaches out there that do that nonsense, but we're weeding them out, trying to work together. And not just me. I mean, I'm doing what I can to help build that hockey community, build the leaders we want. But for the most part, coaches play their favorites, the favorites that give them the favorite opportunity to win, the ones that they trust the most. So I want you to look at your kid and think about this. Look at your athlete and ask, what you know about your athlete, would you give them ice time? You see them. Are they skating hard the full shift? Are they taking half the shift off? Are they coasting? At practice, when the coach isn't looking, are they taking it easy? And there's an old saying, kind of a military saying, when the coach isn't looking, that's when they're watching the most. And I'm telling you, people are watching everywhere. But you got to be honest with yourself. Athletes, you got to be honest with yourself. You know in your heart, and it's something I tell the boys in the locker room all the time, you know in your heart if you're truly putting forth your absolute very best effort. And you also know in your heart if you're looking for ways to take shortcuts. I mean, something I tell them is, athletes, poor players, and the ones that sit the bench or don't get invited to dress for varsity are the ones that stop short of the line because they think the coach doesn't notice. The good athletes, man, they go to the line, but the exceptional athletes, they're the ones that go all the way through the line on the drills. They're pushing themselves, that little extra. And it's something I just talked about was one of our last games. We ran out of go-go in the third period. We did. I mean, it was kind of a hot, muggy night, but, I mean, the other team had to go through it too. So those excuses don't fly. Yeah, the ice was bad. It was soft. It was heavy and humid. I get all that, and that's all true. But guess what? The other team had to deal with it too. Now, were they complaining? I don't know. And frankly, that's none of my business if they were complaining or not. But I know our boys were. So I said, all right, well, that means we're going to have to skate a little harder, build some more stamina and practice. Like, oh, no. Well, I don't do it because I don't like them. I do it because I love them. I mean, I want them to be the champions. They want to win. And I use the Spartan code all the time. And what that is, look, we're going to sweat more in practice so we bleed less in battle. Now, the bleeding I'm talking about is losing. Because losing, man, it's like you're bleeding your heart out. It stinks. So sweat more in training, bleed less in battle. Work a little harder on the things that you don't want to do, but it's going to give that extra endurance, give you that extra stamina, give you that extra grit. And that's all you need, man. I mean, we tied our last game 5-5. A bounce here or there could have determined the game one way or another. Now, we were up 3-0. Woo! Yeah, that's really frustrating. Blow a 3-goal lead. But it happened, and we've all been there. Seems like once that momentum swings, baby, the ice is slanted one direction. And it happens. We've all been a part of it at some point in time. Now, doesn't mean just because you listen to this podcast, doesn't mean because you read my book or buy our masterclass video or I do a workshop for your hockey team. Yeah, that was a little self-plug right there. We'll talk more about that later. Doesn't mean you're never going to lose again. But it does mean you're going to lose a heck of a lot less. And most importantly, you're going to learn how to overcome those challenges, those setbacks, those temporary failures a heck of a lot quicker. Listen, I tell the players this all the time. Those that listen to the podcast all the time, you've heard it countless times, but it's definitely worth repeating. A champion is not someone who's never failed before. A champion is someone who's failed over and over and over again, but refuses to give up, refuses to quit, refuses to lay there and say and make excuses. They bounce right back up. They have a mess up. The coach talks to them. They don't say, yeah, I know, coach. I mean, definitely, athletes listening, parents share this with your athletes. When they go to the bench after a mistake, know that the coach is probably going to get on to them. If the coach doesn't, that means the coach has probably said, I've had enough. I've told you, I don't know how many times, you're just not listening. Now, I'm still going to give kids as much as I can, talk to them as much as I can. But at some point in time, if they continuously make the same mistake over and over and over again, and it has now become a choice. They have chosen not to listen. They have chosen not to try to improve it, and they keep making the same mistake. So once again, when they come to the bench, they made a mistake, coach gets on to them, here's the advice. Close your mouth. Don't say a word. Make eye contact with a coach. Say, yes, coach, I'll work on it. Don't say, I know. Don't say, yeah. All disrespectful. Now, they're going to have to actively train the mind because their immediate response is just going to be, yeah, I know. I talked to a player the other day. I said, I get it. Right away, that's what you want to say. Train your mind just to not say a word. Because once you say, I know, or yeah, which a player says that to me, they're benched for quite some time. That's just totally rude, totally disrespectful. And once again, I'm training them not only to be better hockey players, but to be better citizens, to be better leaders in our community, to be, hopefully at some point in time, maybe they're coaching. Yeah, but whether they're coaching or not, they're going to get a job in our society, in our community. And as an employer owning a business, if I'm talking to them, they go, yeah. Whoa, gone. I mean, I would do a kind of a vetting process, so hopefully I wouldn't hire someone like that in the first place, which I know I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but it all gets back to the main point. Ice time is what they want now. Well, a job and a raise is what they want later. So trying to produce the best leaders we can. So, but one of the things I mentioned to them, especially when we're doing tryouts, and yeah, you got to have some type of skill and athletic talent and ability to play at the varsity level or the juniors level, the collegiate level, the pro level. You got to have the skill, right? I mean, I never, unfortunately, got to play in the NHL. I just flat out did not have the skill. And the injury started to mount. And it's not an excuse, just the reality of things. But I took all that knowledge, and now I'm doing everything I can to help players play at a higher level. But at the same time, even blessed to work with some professional athletes, some players in the NHL, some players in MLB, even some players in the NFL. I mean, I'm grateful for those opportunities. But I'm talking to them about that window of opportunity. You know, hockey players retire, most of them before they're even 35, right? So they got the rest of their life. So they're going to have to get a job in the community. Well, what they learned about themselves regarding their character, what they learned about getting that ice time, being respectful, not being a jerk, that's going to help them get jobs in the real world. So back to what I tell the players, would I hire you to work for my company? If the answer is yes, man, and you got the talent, you're playing. If the answer is no, man, I mean, even if you're the most talented athlete in the world, you're not going to do me any good in the locker room because you're going to breed negativity. You're going to be blabbing, talking bad about the coaches. You're going to be having your little cliques. It just spreads almost like a cancer. Can't have that. Can't have that. So back to the initial question. How does your kiddo get more ice time? Well, learning to win off the ice in order to win on the ice. With that, here's my 4 points. Those that listen, you heard it before, but you're getting it again. And write this down maybe. Yeah, or at least program it in your mental, your subconscious mind. 1 is the attitude of excellence. 2, mindset of a champion. 3, work ethic of an underdog. And 4 is that heart of a warrior. Bring those things. And I tell players all the time, look, freshmen, sophomores, underclassmen, you may not get as much ice time right now as you want. I get that. But what you're doing is you are showing the coach that they can trust you, that you're not going to throw a fit. You're not going to pout. You're going to show up at every single practice you're invited to and give it all you got, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when opportunities present themselves. And they do, because injuries happen. And if the year goes on by, you've got upperclassmen, seniors that graduate and move on. Those opportunities will present themselves. But if you throw a little temper tantrum, you think, oh, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. So those fits. And you're telling me you can't handle adversity. You're telling me you can't handle setbacks. You're telling me, one, you're not humble enough to put the team first. Now, it's something to talk about a lot is, and I remind them, the name on the front is a heck of a lot more important than the name on the back. And yes, I borrowed that from Herb Brooks. You see my USA Hockey jersey up there. That's Mike Eruzione. Good stuff. And he got to see why? Being a leader. Stepping out in front. Was he the most talented? Absolutely not. Was he the best player on the team? Absolutely not. But he had the character. He had the heart. He had the integrity. He had the mindset and the attitude that Herb Brooks wanted. That's the same thing. And if you can see my Brian Sutter jersey over there, number 11. I always wore number 11. most of the time. You can see I got a number 77 there. 11 wasn't available, and then that was actually the time that Pierre Turgeon, big Blues fan, those that know me know that, I came to the Blues, and I always liked Turgie. Number 11, Brian Sutter, small guy, not the most talented, definitely not the most gifted, but man, was he scrappy, gritty, and gave it all he had. I was looking up some stats I posted. And if you're not following me on social media, Real Rich Grogan, make sure you do so across all social media channels. And now might be a good time to remind you to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on YouTube. And let's get that subscriber count up on YouTube, putting out more and more videos up there. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell. All kinds. I think I've got over 1,000 videos on YouTube now, so check those babies out. And, of course, with the podcast, we love those 5-star reviews as well. But anyway, Real Rich Grogan across all social media. So we'll check that box. I just posted a picture of Brian Sutter the other day, and it had kind of his, goodness, what do they call it? You know, his height, his weight, his stats, and everything else, almost like on the back of old cards. Back in the day, we had trading cards. But anyway, it said 6 foot tall. I think he was more like 5'10", 5'11". But anyway, 6 foot tall, 180 pounds. So not a big guy. Now, of course, he played in the 80s. We didn't have middle linebackers on skates back in the 80s. But gritty as can be. Gritty as can be. And, of course, he played for the Blues his entire career, which was fantastic. But I should have had the stats written down so I could remember. But it was pretty darn amazing. The amount of games he played, I think it was like 700-something games in the NHL, had roughly 600-something points, but like, I don't know, it was 1,100 or 1,700 penalty minutes. So he was a scrapper and he was a leader. But anyway, I always enjoyed Brian Sutter because I'm not a very big guy myself. But it's that integrity, it's that passion, it's that grit, it's that resilience, it's that passion to play the game the way it should be. And that's not only what my book's about, I know, third plug for the book. And if you haven't picked up a copy yet, man, the link's in the comment. Grab a copy. It's on Amazon. You can have the thing in a day or so. And with that being said, our mastermind video, it's like 45 minutes Q&A. I've got a guy interviewing me, asking me these questions on how to get more ice time. I mean, that's the name of it, name of the masterclass. And we go through good little dialogue back and forth, but it paints a great picture on what you need to do as a parent and what your athlete needs to do in order to earn that coach's trust to get the ice time. And I also talk about what you don't need to do, because a lot of times we do things, parents, that jeopardize your kid's ice time. So the very first whole section's on debunking myths. So check that out. Links in the comments. Man, it's $9. $9 for the masterclass. And then if you want to grab the Ice Time Accelerator and the How to Get More Ice Time workbook, pick up a copy of that too. It's there to help. And it'll help you get what you want, help your kiddo get what they want, which is more ice time. And how does that work? Well, it tells you all the things you need to do. I mean, everything I'm talking about here on the podcast, but now you've got, well, here's kind of I'll just show you the actual workbook. I mean, there's a printout. Just finished updating it. And I was looking for a copy of the actual workbook itself, but must have that in my backpack downstairs. But anyway, check that thing out. Good? All right. So what do we cover today? Well, we covered if your kid's not getting ice time, what are they doing? Are they blaming the coach, blaming teammates, or they looking in the mirror and essentially blaming the person who's most responsible? Themselves. They can do it. They've got to be willing to do it. They can't be throwing a fit. And parents, you can't be texting and calling the coach. Now, you can ask for clarification by all means. But a little thing I talk about not only in the masterclass video, but in my book is ask, don't tell. Don't tell the coach, my kid needs to be playing more. And don't you have your athlete go up to the coach, Coach, I need to be playing more. I mean, come on. Would you like it if somebody talked to you that way at work? Would you like it if, and maybe your boss does talk to you that way, and if they do, how does it make you feel? It doesn't make you feel good, man. It makes you feel terrible. And so if you don't like somebody talking to you that way, don't talk to the coach that way. And certainly don't have your athlete talking to a coach that way. Respect. Ask. Don't tell. And what's the ask, don't tell? Don't tell them. Ask them. Hey, coach, I've noticed that my kid's not getting as much ice time as we'd like. Is there something he could work on? Oh, now you're asking in a manner that you want feedback and you actually want help. You're not telling to demean and telling the coach, you better give him ice time or else. Come on, once again, we're humans. We've got to act like sophisticated human beings. And yeah, I know. I always get in the comments. Yeah, you don't understand my coach. My kid's coach. I get it. There are coaches out there like that. I get to say that over and over again. I get it. But I want you athletes to listen to this. Yes, you may have a coach like that right now, but you're playing, you're practicing, you're performing, you're working hard for next year or the following year when you've got a different coach, when you've got maybe a coach that respects you a little bit more. And I tell, especially the underclassmen, the freshmen and sophomore, look, you may not get the ice time you're used to now at the varsity level as a freshman or sophomore, but you are working toward next year and the next year. And all the time you're getting better, you're getting stronger, you're developing that mental strength. Because in the real world, you're going to get rejected a lot. You're learning how to deal with that, how to handle that, and you're growing stronger. And I promise coaches notice those things. And you're also telling the coach, you know what, coach? I'm going to be here every single time. And you're working toward a letter on your sweater, which is what most players want. I mean, matter of fact, the other day in the locker room, I said, who would like the A or the C on your sweater there? Nearly every single hand went up. That's what they want. And it's my goal to help them get that. And once again, it may not happen this year. It may not happen next year. But man, in the long run, in the process, they're learning invaluable skills on how to handle adversity, how to handle setbacks, how to handle, if their coach is a jerk, how to handle that, because they're sure as heck going to deal with it later in life, right? So we're looking big long-term here. And you hear me say it all the time. That $400 stick, those $1,000 skates, and those thousands of dollars of on-ice lessons aren't going to do a darn bit of good if they got 1 cent worth of work ethic, 1 cent worth of confidence, and 1 cent worth of discipline. They got to have the mindset, the discipline, and the work ethic. And once again, that's going to not only help them on the ice, it's going to help them off the ice as well. Now, here's the gazillion-dollar question. Can they do it? Absolutely they can. The follow-up? Are they going to do it? Are they willing to do it? Are they willing to put in the work? Are they willing to remain humble? Meaning, I get it. Humility is all about not to the coach, yeah, I know, I get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, the coach just doesn't like me. That's not being humble, man. Humble is trusting the process, knowing that the coach has been coaching a lot longer than they've even been alive. And if you don't understand, please ask, don't tell. Therefore, you're not jeopardizing your kid's ice time. All right. Woohoo. We covered a lot, didn't we? Man, I get so excited and so jacked up doing these podcasts and talking to you there. So please drop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on why your kid's not getting ice time, or let me know how they respond when they don't get ice time. And the reason I have you do that, yes, I love reading your comments. And by the way, if you've got something rude to say, I guess if you have nothing else to say, drop the rude comment. I'm just going to ignore it because, well, and that's something for you at home as well. You get some haters on your pages or whatever you're doing, don't entertain them. Just ignore it. It's not worth it. I want to read the comments of people that have real questions. And by all means, if you have a question for me, please ask. I'm going to start doing a segment called Ask Coach Rich, and I'll answer 1, 2, 3, depends on how many questions come in on Friday of the week, and post that little short video. So you'll have to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss one of those as well. And on Facebook and Instagram, Real Rich Grogan, and we've got a hockey page called, what is the hockey page called? Warrior Confidence Hockey, How to Get More Ice Time. It's for players and parents. It's a small group, so jump on in there, ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them there too. All right? Well, good stuff. We'll make sure you grab a copy of the book. Links in the description and in the comments, and pick up a copy of the masterclass. Man, it's $9, and I'm telling you, it is so worth it. I also do workshops and do team programs where I work with your entire team, and we work on, well, not only how to get more ice time, but how to develop leaders, how to develop the confidence, how to build that self-belief in order to win on and off the ice. Coaches, if you're watching, we all know the number one problem that sinks most ships, so to speak, is parent drama. And a lot of that just comes from miscommunication and misunderstanding. So with these programs I do with the entire team, we bring everybody together. The players, the parents, the coaches, we get together. It's 4 weeks long. We all work through the workbook together, and it's an accountability tool because the players and parents sign off on every single section and every single week. And therefore, if there's a miscommunication or misunderstanding later, we go right back to the workbook because we worked on it together. Good stuff. And reach out to me on that one. You can send me an email, direct message, or drop it in the comments, and I'll get a hold of you on how to coordinate that with your team. And here's the beauty of it. Not only do we go through 4 weeks, we all work together. If, a month down the road, something goes awry with the team, we all jump on a call again and we sort it out. And therefore, we're collectively working together to produce what we all want. Champions on and off the ice. All right, guys, I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world. Thank you so very, very much for listening. I can't wait to read your comments, and I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today on the Warrior Confidence Hockey Podcast. Hey, do me a favor. If this message hit home, please drop a comment sharing one key takeaway that you're going to share with your athlete, team, another parent, or a coach who needs to hear it. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks again for joining me today. I can't wait to read your comments, and I can't wait to chat with you again. Talk to you soon. God bless.